the Mario! Swing your arms from side to side. Come on, it's time to go. Do the Mario. Take one step, and then again. Let's do the Mario all together now. You got it. It's the Mario.
Hello and welcome to the Just Another Castle podcast. I'm your host Matt, and with me this week is our resident gaming journalist Eli.
Hey, I am here actually this week. Hi everyone.
Welcome back.
Yeah, our pro gamer Mike.
Hey, I'm here, back actually this week. Hey, everyone.
And
Wow,
our
you stole my
aficionado.
I wanted to copy whoever.
He had to steal something from you after you became the new Mike, Mr. No Show.
Yeah, man. So I had to steal the Eli line. Dude, I should have said with the same infliction.
Oh, man. And our retro aficionado Unoclay.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can.
Apropos of nothing this week, except that I just watched Spider-Man Homecoming right before we came on the air, and I was playing a Spider-Man 64 N64 game last night. So it's
great game, dude. It's better on the PlayStation because those cutscenes are animated. But great game.
I'm enjoying it. I was actually testing out my new Elgato recorder with it, and that was my reaction. I was putting it in cold, trying it out on camera live for the first time ever, and my exact review of the first 2 levels was, this is way better than I expected. Dude,
it's really fun. But if you want, the scenes are animated on the PlayStation. So
nice.
It's nice. But there's a lot of collectibles. It's really cool game.
Neat.
I enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Nice. We'll have to talk about it after. So
Nice.
This week we'll start off with, with what we've been playing. Man, I've not gotten used to this quite yet. I'm not even sure how I've introduced it. So let's start off with our Game of All Time tournament. This week, we're going to do things a bit differently just to try to keep it quick. We're going to have a 30-second timer on each person. How it'll work is I'll introduce one of the games, get the person who voted for it to explain their reasoning, and then same with the second game, and then the other 2 contestants will vote accordingly. This week, it's Smash Bros Wii U versus The Last of Us, and I know Mike's just been dying to make this
Oh yeah,
call.
this is I honestly was like, I shouldn't even come on this week. After looking at the bracket matchup, I was like, how did this get into anyone? How did this get into anyone's thoughts? Unless this is the worst, this is a troll double pick. I'm totally with that. Totally with if somebody's trolling me 2 times right now.
Yeah, this
I might rescind my vote. You should let me go last, just so I can choose who will go, because I literally don't want to vote for either game. So.
That's
I'm telling you this.
I think that'll be fun to have Mike desperately try to cling to something at the end. But,
You didn't want the one that submitted Smash Bros Wii U?
Hell no, I don't like Trash 4, dude. TR. Did you see what I wrote? I wrote Trash versus TR4 SH. All right, both are trash.
Well,
all right. So
I will cop to being the one that put Smash 4 into the tournament, and I know who did, but does anyone else want to own up to putting Last of Us into it?
well, I think
Eli,
that's
we already know.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I know Eli like a book. All right, I know Eli.
right.
We've been friends for too long.
Well, and here's the thing that I can
So here, who wants to go
that-
first? Whoever did Smash Brothers or who did Last of Us? guessing-
Smash Brothers should go first since it's on
Okay.
top.
All right, so I'm guessing that's Unoclay because I know it wasn't me.
That was me. So
Okay,
I'll
it would
do
be
it.
weird if we had 2 of the same people. Eli put in both votes. It's I have to argue against my own games.
Well,
Crap.
That will happen when the brackets shake up. Obviously,
Yeah,
that could
it
happen
will.
later in the
That'll
tournament.
be
But I
fun.
made sure, I made sure that the opening round of the tournament, nobody's own games would face each other.
Yeah.
It was trying to be
So
made as
you didn't make it fake bias where it's haha, me and Matt picked,
no.
Burger
It's like
King, and then only one guy picked McDonald's.
No, I went to great lengths, in fact, to make sure that as much as possible, everybody faced everybody else's choices. I really spent a lot of time trying to get it super fair, so we wouldn't have that kind of fight where it would be this sucks. I have to fight Mike every single week. So
That's good. Very, very. You did a really good job TOing this, man.
We'll see at the end if you feel that way when you know what wins. But
I mean, it's gonna be all 4 of my games in the final 4. So what does it matter?
All right. Let's
Here's
ring
my-
this in.
here's my-
So
here's
let's start
my
with you,
30 seconds.
Unoclay. I will start the timer now.
All right. Smash Bros Wii U. I came to Smash Bros late compared to a lot of you guys. I never played Melee. I played a little of 64, but never understood it. I joined with Brawl and really liked it. So for me, Smash Bros Wii U came along. I was like, this is it. This is an amazing, absolutely stunning game. To me, it's the culmination of a great game because I hear Melee is a lot faster and better for tournaments. But for a casual scum like me, I think Smash Bros. Wii U is one of my favorite games of all time, mainly because I came to Smash Bros. Late, possibly. But still, I just think it's like an utterly nearly perfect game. And I can't wait to see it ported to Switch to have Wii U Switch in a new iteration.
So this doesn't include the 3DS one, right? I just wanted to make sure of that.
That is clear. I'm voting for Smash Brothers Wii U specifically.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So,
that would have helped you out with my vote, man, if you would have said 3DS. Let you know.
Too late.
All right, throwing it. All right, keep going.
Eli, it's your turn to defend. Well, explain your vote for The Last of Us. The timer starts now.
Yeah, no, so The Last of Us just is the culmination, really, of what gaming narrative should be if it's present in a game. And the fact that there's so much emotions at the end of the game where you're, so angry, and then at the same time, like, there's such an evolving set of emotions at the end of the game and throughout the game that I think it's quite an incredible experience, and one that has, I don't want to say plot twist because it's part of the story, but just kind of a pinnacle, I would say, of storytelling, and also the gameplay is pretty well done in the way that it melts with the story. Also, Smash 4 isn't the best Smash, and later we can vote on other Smash games. Just saying.
All right. So that'll round you off.
I'll throw shade.
Nice.
Throwing bombs at the end of the 30 seconds.
Nothing wrong with
God,
throwing
I'm
shade.
having so much infliction. I should go now just so I don't have to be the tiebreaker, but I don't know who to vote for yet.
All
Damn
right.
it.
So I'll start the timer now. I
Is this
think
Mike?
The Last
Is
of
Mike
Us.
going?
No. Oh, let me restart. No,
Sorry.
I'm gonna start now. So
I don't know who you were
I think
queuing.
that. Stop talking.
Yo, Clay, throw
Oh,
in.
Third
So Matt,
time's
what are you
the
gonna vote
charm. Now, The Last of Us is fine, but I think it's a bit too typical of a zombie game. I don't think it was all that cracked up to be interesting, but yeah, Unoclay, it's just fine. They kind of set up characters barely and then kill them off as if I'm supposed to care when I don't. So I'm going to go with Smash 4 because I had more fun with that overall.
Booyah. Nothing against The Last of Us. I never played it, so I'm not like hating either. So
Yeah, no problem. And Mike, the glorious Mike has to find...
I don't want to vote at
30
all.
seconds.
I literally don't, but all right.
All right,
Let's start
30
my timer.
seconds goes now.
All right, Last of Us. I platinumed in 6 days. Didn't enjoy any minute of it unless it was the multiplayer. But the thing is, the key about that game is the single player. Multiplayer, it kind of changed when we see multiplayer today. You see like these PUBG games and Fortnite. I got to give Last of Us that credit and what Eli said about the end of the game. However, Trash 4 really got me, I don't know, it did a lot for me game-wise. And I think it was a great game until DLC came out. And I don't know what to say. I like beginning of Smash Wii U, and I only like one segment of The Last of Us 2. So I honestly, I shouldn't have a vote. It would be unfair. So I'm gonna let Matt be the decider. I can't vote for either game. I don't think any game.
Oh,
I can't.
stand you down.
You gotta vote one.
Do I have to? I can't. I'm literally about to throw my headset. All right.
I mean, technically, no one. I'm not saying this because it would mean I win. I'm saying, like, technically, we haven't had this situation. No one has to vote, but it would be more interesting if you did. I mean, if you throw a tie for the listeners, while Mike thinks,
I want to know.
Throw a tie. We're gonna survey a random listener on.
Yeah, let's do that.
Twitter.
I'm gonna give it to just the tie because I really hate what DLC did to Smash Wii U. So I'm really interested to see what someone else votes for because I feel like it's unfair.
The
by
problem
voting
is
you.
the problem is if someone else votes The Last of Us, it's like then it's still a tie.
No,
So right
because
now, now it's two for Smash and one
yeah,
for
yeah,
Last of
I'll
Us.
give my vote for Last of Us just to see.
my
But
gosh.
I'm
That's
putting my
insane, yeah.
faith in the listener, okay? And if they let me
You
down,
gotta make me go find a random Twitter user.
Yo,
and
you
harass
bet you
them.
have people that apply. I mean, reply to you, not apply. So I'm giving Eli, only because Eli is my friend. I'm gonna help him out here. All right.
Mike, here's
He's been working hard with his Michigan State stuff. All right, so you know what? Last of Us will get it only because I really did enjoy the multiplayer like a lot.
Mike.
I was like, but the only reason why I didn't like it was that one time where I accidentally died level 19 and you're supposed to be level 20 and it resets you back, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta do this again. But Smash Wii U, amazing game. If we included the 3DS or we were talking about pre-DLC.
So Mike,
a lot of hype
here's the thing you should have used.
It did a lot for me. It did do a lot for me in games-wise, careers-wise, like being able to play professional Smash. I'll never forget that, but I do think Melee is a better, superior game.
So here's what you should have used to help your voting. You should have just been like, well, I don't really care much for either, but Smash 4 got me money, so I'm gonna go for Smash 4.
Yeah, I mean that is true. Smash 4 did bring me some bills for the month, food, gas. Like I mean that's quite biased voting right there. I mean that has nothing to do with the game. It just has to do with my mustache right now.
So stay tuned, listeners. Matt will be back with the answer at some point, whether on the show today or
hopefully
maybe
it'll be next week, man. I'm actually very excited. Or we'll have it during the midweek and then we get to announce it. I'm actually very excited.
Stay tuned.
Oh, next
Stay
week
tuned.
be an interesting. We should tease it, right? Like people should.
You know what? Let me. If you give me 1 minute, I will select someone off. Oh man.
Oh, you're gonna DM them? See, I thought you were just gonna like randomly put a poll on the
no,
on the
because I'm not big enough to do polls. No one's gonna see it, so I'm just gonna direct. Directly
and you just cut this out. Cut this part out of the recording, so you just pop back in with the like.
Well, maybe Clay, if you said something interesting, we wouldn't need to cut it out.
Yeah, like how about we just talk about how Clay's playing Spider-Man? We could jump into the games while Matt does that. All right, I'll take over host right now. All right.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Right.
So, typically, when we talk about what we've been playing, I believe Eli would start. Well, Matt would start, but he's busy right
now. Well, I can save you the time because I haven't had the time to play anything. Sad.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I said he's just been busy with his Michigan State stuff, man. All right, like my man's working hard right now.
It has been actually incredibly busy with all the events we've been organizing and doing. So that's been eating up a ton of my time over the last week and a half.
I hope everything's going well, man. And keep at it, dude. You seem really passionate, and that's like the key to success. So,
hey, who let Mike's dad on this podcast?
Oh, on a related note, Mike. Mike, are you gonna be at E3?
Yeah, I'm going to be trying. Yeah, I'll be. What date is it exactly? Just so I have to make sure.
It's June 12th through 14th.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be graduating the 18th, so I'm going to E3. Ooh. So, and Matt, if you're going there, man, we could all hang, and you guys can crash at my place too if you need.
Yeah, that would be rad.
That'd be awesome.
All right, man. It's gonna be hype, dude. All right.
Don't
now that I'm all excited for June.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna get me a pass to E3, man. Look at me sitting over here. Like,
Clay, you got to, man. You got to get off, bro.
Clay, come visit. We'll have a party.
How am I getting in? How do you get into E3 when you're just a random scum like me? You can't get it.
Now.
Yeah, there's public now, dude.
I'll look into it. I got a lot of traveling coming up. I'm just kidding anyway, but I'll look into it. All right, nice.
All right, cool.
That's a word.
So, I just sent a vote or a tweet out to someone, and I want to kind of do it in the middle of the podcast just because if someone responds back, we can do it, in the middle of the podcast, and it might be, fun to be like, hey, we got an update. So I literally just said Smash Bros Wii U or The Last of Us, no context. Hopefully that makes it more interesting. Let's just to screw people off or mess with people's heads. Let's get to what we've been playing. Eli said he's played nothing. I'll try to be quick. So before I thought I would play ukulele and just try to get to beating it just so I can say I've beat it. I have about 75 pages. You need 100 pages to get to the final boss. And eventually I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm ditching this game. I don't really feel like playing it anymore. Mostly because you can expand worlds and then have access to more pages. And I did that for all of the worlds except one. And there's definitely not going to be 25 pages, when I expand this other final world.
What word are you saying? I thought you were saying pages at first.
No, it's pages. It's like this basically page, but GIE.
Okay. Just
That's
fine.
it's like a jiggy, like like in Banjo-Kazooie they call them jiggies, so they call them pages in this game.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, I basically said, you know what, I'm done with this. I don't really want to force playing it anymore. And I don't know how to find any of the other pages without like trying to get a guide, because some of them aren't like obvious enough. Like I can understand, oh, this person has a challenge and you'll get a pagey for it, but I don't think I've seen enough where I could just like walk through it and play it that way and whatever. I'm just done with it. So I finally set up my PS4 like 2 months later, and I started playing Infamous, which is a game that's developed by Sucker Punch, who's also making the next Spider-Man. So ties there. And I'm having fun with it. I know it only got like okay reviews, and I'm perfectly fine with that because it's just general fun. And I also wanted to get back into like a third-person action game so I could just have fun and beat things up again, because you can't really do that in Ukulele. And like my favorite kind of games, just it's fun to just beat things up for no reason. So I don't know how far I am in that game, because I think you get 4 different powers, and I have smoke or dust or whatever, and then the neon powers. And they're pretty cool so far. I don't know if you can switch between them or not. I didn't find a button or anything too, but we'll see about that. But it's pretty good. I'm liking it. It'll be fun to try out a bunch of different PS4 games as I go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Man. Well, I appreciate what you said about giving up on a game, because when I first met you guys and joined, I used to be a guy that like really detested the universe of everyone like just playing a game a little bit and quitting. And I certainly am not that. I certainly do not pick up a game for like an hour or 3 hours and then just walk away from it. Even if it sucks, I'll usually give a game several days of like a couple attempts to get into it. And that's pretty rare for me to not do any less than that. But the more and more we're all facing the endless backlog concept of this world. Like, it's just like, if it's not that fun, you do know you have like 70 games waiting for you, right? Like that feeling of,
that's a now generation thing. Like, I was gonna say, I never really had that issue, even with the PS2, even though I had like a lot of games. I was like, if there was games you wanted, and there was like, I mean, also I was younger, so it'd be like what my parents got me or what I wanted. But yeah, like now it's like not only do you have access to your own thing, but there's a lot of games now, man. It's not like you could just be like, I'm just gonna wait next year. Like, dude, next month is already like another big release, and you're like, oh shit.
Well, yeah, like the PS4, I have at least a dozen games I want to play, and I think like a third of them are open world or sandbox games. So it's like, yeah, great. I mean, I want to play these games, but they're all like 60 hours long. Jeez, never gonna finish them. So
wait, honestly though, on the PS4, I mean, that's a different story, but on the Switch, and we can talk about this a little later, but the first semester does not look, I mean, the first half of the year does not look that great.
No, and that's why I was kind of miffed about the ports, because it's like, it just seems like they're putting out ports to fill out empty gaps. Like, it feels like an omen that there's not going to be a lot. It's like, oh, here's ports because we have nothing else ready, sort of thing. Like, there's Kirby and Mario Tennis. And
but Kirby's an old announcement. I do remember like seeing that Kirby announcement like a while back.
Yeah, but I mean, I think those are like the first 2 major or whatever AAA games in like the first half, like from Nintendo.
But Nintendo, in my opinion, they've never been strong on in April and all that. Like, I feel like Nintendo really kicks the ball usually starting like June. Like, Smash was a summer release, if anyone remembers that. Splatoon was summer release. So Mario Kart was May.
That's true, but with the Switch it was different, because when the Switch came out, there actually were games almost every month.
Yeah.
And now technically they've got games every month, but half of them are remakes, and then you got Labo. Like, really, for the entire first half of the year so far, what you got scheduled is Mario Tennis, which is like all right, I guess, and then Kirby, which is also, I like Kirby, I love Kirby, but it's a B tier property. So you got like no big hitters scheduled, and you only got 2, B tier properties. It's a pretty lame first half, not gonna lie.
Damn, spicy. Well, one thing I would say is there's a lot more indie games though. That's
true.
Half.
That's 100% true. And we just got Celeste, which I hear is.
Oh yeah, that's part of my thingy. So I'll talk about that when it's my turn.
Yeah, I hear Celeste is like the bomb, and maybe Eli's not appreciating how fucking incredible Lebo is going to be, and how it is not a
Lebanese, got it.
Lavos.
Cool.
it's a superior tier of Nintendo genius. Maybe he didn't hear last week's podcast. Perhaps maybe he doesn't.
Obviously, Eli doesn't know the power of construction paper. Okay, my gosh.
Yeah.
How
Maybe
dare
he
you,
has-
Eli?
Maybe he hasn't heard that like Labo is my new favorite thing on earth, and that like I could care less if they don't release another game all year. I'm going to be playing the piano.
Clay,
Guys.
before we go on, there's a channel called Beta64. He usually does beta stuff about Nintendo properties and all that, and he tries to show off comparisons. He did one about Labo, so it talks about Labo and
Nice.
Project Giant Robot. It's a good most of his videos are very long. They're like 19 to 20 minutes, but most of the time they're really interesting. Like he'll pull out like, oh, do you guys remember this from 3 seconds? Like from 3 years ago for 3 seconds of Labo? Well, this is actually tied to this. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool.
I'm looking at the
Sometimes it's
thumbnail.
like-
I'm looking at the thumbnail, and it shows the finished one on the right, and the left is just like a guy in a cardboard costume.
Yeah, like Miyamoto and a
Miyamoto
guy in
there.
a cardboard box, and it's just
I
like
love it. I love it. I'm looking at it too.
I enjoy the channel. I mean, I occasionally watch stuff. Like I watch like the Wind Waker one. I've watched a few of the Banjo-Kazooie ones, but it's cool. Like I mean, you forget about some of the beta stuff or some of the stuff that's in Nintendo Power, and you're like, oh yeah, they completely cut that, or that looked completely different. Like most people remember like Earthbound on the N64, Mother 3, but you know.
I'm going to totally check this out. This looks really interesting. Yeah, because I'm looking at it too, as Matt said, and it looks like neat. So I'm looking forward to it. Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
So Mike,
You know what? Now that we self-promoted him, I'll just DM him and be like, hey man, come on the podcast, dude.
exactly.
Boom. Network.
So Mike, you were saying you've played Celeste this week, or actually, you beat
yeah.
it, from what I saw.
I'm Matt. One thing I am a little surprised you did drop ukulele, but that's fair. I mean, to force yourself to play, I've done that more than enough for trophies.
I
and
think
it's the
I've played
worst
it for like 15 or something hours, so I definitely put my time in, but it's just.
Oh
like,
yeah, dude. No, it gets super slow. Like,
Yeah.
like trust me, I know. But no, it's fair. It just sucks because me and you wanted it to be something more than it was, and I
Yeah.
guess it just
Oh well,
wasn't.
A Hat in Time looks like it's gonna be that. So
Yeah. Oh,
Eventually
dude,
I'll
that
play
looks
that.
sick. I really wish. They're having trouble on the Switch, but I'm really excited
I'll
to
just
play
play
that.
it on PC at least. But
Yeah. All right. So for me, I bought Celeste, guys. I was really interested. I mean, I if Destructoid gives it a 10, I trust them because they gave what was that 3DS game of Link to the Past 2? What do they call it again?
Oh, Link Between,
Link Between
Worlds.
Worlds. They gave that game a 6.5, and that game is like a 6.5. So,
Wow, you're wrong on
damn.
so many levels.
yeah. I mean, I love Link to the Past, and when I was like, oh, a sequel, and then I was lied to with trash. So I was like, you know what? I trust these guys. So essentially, I picked it up. I was like, I wasn't really expecting much. I didn't watch any. I literally only read the review. Never saw a trailer. Never saw anything else about it. All right. I was like this is like my fate in gaming journalists. All
Oh
right.
man,
And
That's,
so I picked it up. Honestly, man, I'm actually playing it right now as we speak. But I think it's a great game. I mean, it's a bit. I forget indie games are really short for me, and that's why I also like low key hate them because like yeah, it's $20, but I'm like I finished this game in 2 days, and it was supposed to be quote challenging when I started looking it up, and I was like, eh. But there is B-sides. There's a lot more to the game. The main story is very short. It's one of those like. It reminds me of like a Newgrounds game, you know, when you kept playing and then like you die and you keep trying again, you try a new path and you're like, oh shit, you actually do it this way. It's very clever. Like there's 7 chapters, an 8th hidden chapter, and there's a B-side to everything, which is like the B-side of a cassette tape. If anybody doesn't know what that is, then you know.
I'm a big fan.
So just think of like the tapes your mom used to have, and then they would flip it over to the radio.
For me right here, I'm not even joking.
Yeah. So
Unoclay's like, what are you talking about? I got a laser disc. You kids.
yeah,
and
come
your
on, man. All
tapes.
right.
Recording this podcast on my cassette player and uploading it live.
Yeah, it's only gonna take me 5 days. But so think of how do I say this? Think of like kind of like Mario type platforming with Mega Man X wall jump kind of a concept. You know, like where you could like cling on the wall, you could constantly re-jump in the same place. But she also has a mid-air dash, Mega Man X-like, and she has a wall cling, very unique to Celeste. Each chapter has their own, like, yeah, you're going to use all the same abilities, but each chapter has its own gimmick per chapter. There's a bit of a story, not really much into it. Soundtrack's very good, especially if you like the piano or like those kind of like ambient music where it's just like where you're just what's the best way to say it? Very Donkey Kong Country like, where it's just like quiet and you're just like doing your own thing. Other than that, I do definitely recommend it. I wish it was a little bit cheaper. I'm trying to get the 100% stuff because I want to play the B-side levels, which I haven't. So yeah, I mean, very fun pickup. Honestly, I wouldn't give it a 10. I'd probably give it a 9 though. It's pretty high praise considering I hate indies, like the idea of indies. So
two things. One, could you turn your volume down a little?
Oh yeah, might be.
No problem. And two, have you played Slime Chan?
Because
it looks a lot like Slime Chan, so I was just wondering if you.
No, I haven't really. I mean, the one of the other things I have played, I played a little bit was Mutant Muds or something like that. It was on the 3DS when I played. I didn't play the PC port or whatever. But I wouldn't really know. If honestly, some people were in my chat and they're like, "Hey, I really want to get this game." I'd say if you don't or never played Shovel Knight, you get that for your Switch before you get Celeste. It's only $5 more, and you get way more content. No,
and there's still content coming, so.
Yeah, and the last content's coming out. Other than that, I picked up Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Fighters is technically the way they want you to say it, but
they can't force me to do
awesome
anything.
Game. Dude, it's awesome. Like honestly, visually, it's awesome. If you're a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, you're gonna love it. Story mode's a bit cheesy. It's kind of like Sonic Forces. Remember I said that was like Universal Studios derived. Like, wow, we couldn't have done it without
you.
Yeah.
Insert character.
Good job, buddy. Shit like that. So it kind of was like that. The story. I'm only 1/3 through the story. There's 27 chapters. I'm 9. They do it by arcs, so I finished the first arc, which is 9 chapters. I mean, I'm really loving it. I think they did a lot of dedication. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, it's a must buy. And if you're interested in playing something new or just having fun with it, I think you should definitely check it out. Other than that, just the usual oversplotch. And I picked up Xenoblade Chronicles 2. People are telling me not to update it because they patched out the meme scene, but I haven't touched XC2 yet.
I want to get those memes.
Yeah, man, it's all about the memes.
Gosh. You still got Treehouse still ruining games with their memes.
Nice.
Sad.
Yep, that is my journey. I mean, I haven't really touched Superstar Saga. Like, obviously, I've beaten the game before, but it's more of I'm going to play this when I really have nothing to play. But right now, I have a lot of console games to play, so.
Cool.
Nice. Nice, man. Busy week. You're making up for Eli, like not having time to play games. You're like.
I mean, I don't know. Soon I might have to be like, low key giving him up because I got something going on with IBM these next 2 Fridays. So see what's going down with that. They're gonna be like, wow, this guy's an idiot. Yeah.
Hyping it.
Let's be real. You only wanted to be hired by Blizzard so you could play Overwatch all day.
Exactly. All right. Like, clearly Matt knows my real plan, But if it works out, I'll just be chilling with Watson, winning Jeopardy. Working at IBM. Yeah, I'll be like, yo, Watson, what's the answer? I'll be wearing a cowboy hat. I mean, I'll be wearing an antenna, and he'll be wearing a cowboy hat from far away, giving me the answer in my driving test.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Mike and his reference.
Blaze turn. We know what he's going to talk about. I want to hear some Spooderman already.
I was excited to hear you say Celeste is great because I put it in my endless wish list because all the reviews, I did read a few reviews for it, and it looks a little bit like, your 1001 Spikes, and it looks like your Meat Boys of the world with a little bit of different mechanics. And then all the reviews say it's got something special. Like they're always trying to get at it. That they're like, it's really neat, good story. It's got something special that keeps coming back to it. So I'm excited to hear that because, I mean, I love games like that, but in the last couple of years, there's been so many retro platformers with the excessive difficulty, which I definitely love. Definitely one of my top favorite genres of game, honestly.
But they can water it down. You know what I mean? Like you're like, all right, Meat Boy did it first, and that's why they got a lot of love. And then everyone's like, let's copy Meat Boy style. They did it first. So.
And Spikes took a lot out of me because that game is one of the hardest games. Like I haven't finished it. I think I'm 3 levels to the end, and it gets so insane that you shed 50 lives a level easily, and then you have to go farm more lives in the outer game before the final levels or whatever. And it's just so hard that I love it, but it almost broke me. Meat Boy was easier than 1001 Spikes, and I got to the final board and never finished it. I don't know why. I just just didn't have the heart. I like left when I got there. I was just like, yeah, I've been playing this a lot, like kind of feeling or something.
No, dude, I know that feel. Like, I mean, I think I got that with like a Mega Man X game once in a while. I'll be like, I just don't want to fight every boss again, and then you just pick it up, load it, and you're like, all right, yeah, I can beat them all now. You were watered down from it, you know?
Yeah, I think I just burned out on Meat Boy. I think I just had enough, and I like it just so happens. I think I'm on the final board where I like ended up never coming back to it for no reason. Like it wasn't because I couldn't. I think I just had enough. Kind of, I was like, yeah, it was fun. It was great. It's cool. But actually, I played the Spider-Man game. I'll comment on that a little bit, but not too much. I didn't play too much of it yet. The game that really caught me off guard that I threw that there's still that Nintendo sale. 3D or eShop sale and some games going on, so I grabbed a quick couple games. It's like the Steam universe is happening to me now. I've avoided it all these years. I don't do Steam. All you guys get the Steam sale, and then like how you talk about how you like have 20 games in your backlog you never even played yet. It's happening to me on my Switch a little bit because these sales pop up and they're games I definitely know I'm going to buy at some point. So I'm like, okay, I'm falling prey to it. I'm going to buy it before the sale ends. And this week, I already bought 2 games this week that were on like that look very interesting. I don't know if I'm going to love them, but I forget what the one's called. I had in my I want to say Rhyme. It's something about it's a twin stick shooter tank game.
Oh, okay. There's a game called Rhyme that looked interesting, but it did terrible, and then it cost more for the Switch.
Yeah.
No,
that's not one. I'm saying the wrong name then. Anyway, it's not important.
I'll talk about I know what you're talking about. Shoot. It's made by, I think, the Toki Tori developer.
That might be it, yeah. But anyway,
I know.
Yeah, I didn't play it yet, so I have no comment on it. I got it, but I got the Mambo. Didn't play it yet. They're all just in my backlog on there, like sitting in the room waiting for me to touch them someday. But the game I got that was on sale.
That's what it was called.
What's it called?
Rive with a V.
Rive, that's it, right? Yeah, it looks cool. It looks
cool.
like my kind of game. It's like arcade shooter, like kind of stuff I really love. But the game I did like a lot, that's really grown on me a lot, and it's definitely a pick up and play Switch game that's a smaller indie experience, is a Goner. Have any of you guys, Eli or Mike or Matt, any of you guys played Goner or taken a look at that one?
No, I haven't. I heard it. Isn't it like a rogue? Roguelike?
A little bit roguelike, meaning that the levels are like procedurally generated each time you start, but they're not completely random. They're not. It's a platformer, and that isn't even the element that makes it really interesting to me. I mean, it is. It keeps it fresh because if it didn't do that, the game would get pretty boring pretty quick. I think because the game is brutally difficult. It's a platformer, and it's got a really neat art style. It's a very minimalist kind of like modern art style to it. It's got really neat modern like music with a real haunting flavor to it. But it's very difficult. It's a platformer where you basically, I think you're like Death or something. You're like a little death man or something. I don't exactly know. Like there's no talking in the game. There's no narrative whatsoever, which suits me fine. You just start out. There's a little cartoon intro, and you're going and you're killing enemies, and you're basically a little guy with a gun. And you have to like blast your way through the level, and it's got a very addictive mechanic. To put it in summary, the faster you clear enemies, the more rewards you get. So it forces you to have this like risk reward element where the faster you blast the enemies out, you'll get more money. It's basically money, and the money also serves as your lives. And you start with 0 lives. It's like you're dead. You can take a few hits, and then you're dead and gone. But if you it pushes you to go faster, but that also makes you be in more danger. And the game is hard to begin with. So it's very addictive. And basically, I'm not very good at it yet. And a play session will last about maybe 5 minutes or less, like each time. And then you're back to the beginning. And so thank God it's a roguelike because the levels are a little different each time and you're back to 0. But what happens is you start to like get just good enough, just far enough to earn new weapons and change your loadout. So it's kind of got an optional loadout that you can kind of tailor your character as you go to your personal preferences, like a bigger gun with a bigger spread, or like a laser gun that can just like clear a straight line across the screen but doesn't have any widespread shot, things like that, different elements. So it's also pushing you to like play one more time. It's got that element of like you got killed and you should be pissed, but you have this like urge to press start again and to like, no, I'm going to do again because I know I was almost to like the next tier where I might earn enough money to get a new gun. And then you're going to be a little bit better the next time you go through it. So is it a big experience? Is it something you're going to play for months at a time or anything like that? Definitely not. It's nothing like that. This is a game that like already in a couple days I've had it when you're in the waiting room somewhere, when you're on the bus, it's really good for like a 5-minute game because you can just like make a run for it, get killed, make another run for it. Okay, you're at your stop, get off the bus, and forget about it. Close it down. It's not like you're getting invested in some like half-hour campaign level, you know, or something that's going to demand your brain to stay focused on it. You know, you can just like shut it down, pick it back up, pick up where you were, and run with it some more. It's got a high score element to it that kind of serves me well. I'm really into arcade games and stuff like that. So it's testing you against yourself a little bit, like how far can you get into the game? And honestly, it's so damn hard. That's part of the attraction for me because I've gotten to like level 2, and I don't think I've finished level 2 yet, which it's about 4 or 5 boards. And you get wiped out before that because I'm not very cautious. I'm always trying to get that high score. I'm always trying to go faster and kill off more enemies, and I'm paying for it every time. And it's weird. It's addictive. So Goner is my lock of the week. I'm saying that's a good game.
I've only played one Rogue game ever in my life. It was Rogue Legacy when it was free for the PlayStation, and it was super addicting. Like I know what you were talking about, where it's just like, I mean, the way that game went was you only go to one castle. Obviously, every loadout is different from when you die. And then, you know, you can only really pick up the money you left over to buy better gear. But like the knights would be like, oh, you got a lanky knight, so he's super fast, but he has less HP, etc. And the only time you ever get checkpoints is when you would beat one of the 4 bosses, and then, you know, you never have to fight that boss again, per se. But, you know, like, I was like, yo, this is, I don't know I never knew what it was. I thought it was a platformer, but they are oddly addicting. It's not like, it is hard, but it's not like, yo, F this game, it's too hard. It's more like, yo, I'm going to beat this next time. Like, it's very, like, I love that feel, too. It's a great feel.
It's really cheap. I mean, it's like, I think I paid $6.99 or something like for it, and it's worth every penny to me. I got to say, like, I forget if the sale's over yet or not, but if you need something like small like that, you know, you're not looking for something on your Switch that, you know, is a big commitment. If you just want a game in there that, like, that's what like Binding of Isaac has been. Although Binding of Isaac is like a huge addiction for me and is a much bigger commitment because it's not just a once and done run through. It's like beat it hundreds of times and the game unfolds over time kind of experience. So it's a little different, but that's the way Isaac's been for me for a couple months, where it's like I can pick it up for a few minutes, get through one more level, close it off, and come back to it later and pick up where I was. Though it's a little different. Goner is much more of an arcade classic experience. Like, I don't think the game is going to turn into anything other than it is. The goal is maybe get good enough to ever finish it. I have no idea. There's definitely got to be an ending eventually, because there's like cutscenes and stuff between the levels and at the beginning and stuff. So I'm assuming there is a narrative end of the game, but really the game is like a high score rush too, a little bit, like, and see how many weapons you can farm up and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, great game. Really, really enjoying it. And I didn't know what to think. So at that price, I thought it might really, you know, be a piece of crap, but I was pleasantly surprised. The reviews were good. I think got like an 8 on Nintendo Life or something like that. So it's definitely not just me saying it's decent. It's a decent game.
Nice.
So
yeah, it looked pretty cool.
Yeah. And that's enough for me. I didn't play enough of the Spider-Man game to really comment on it. Maybe I'll comment on another week if I get further, or maybe I'll have a video of it eventually, and I can refer you all there.
Nice, yeah, definitely do that.
Nice.
All right,
So that's it for me.
Cool. So let's move on to some news. Nintendo, at like the very last second, decided to drop some news before we started the podcast, which is great because there wasn't really much to talk about, to be quite honest. I was reading some more news they published. So they had like an investor meeting or something along the lines of that. And of course they published a bunch of stuff that Go Nintendo put up, and I read some of it, what I could. Some tidbits. They're going to continue with the 3DS. I don't really know if they're going to make more games for it, but it hasn't. The sales have still been going, so they're like, we'll keep working on it. And the Switch hasn't really affected it, so we'll see what they do with that. I don't know how hard they'll support it. It basically seems like it's like the budget version of a console if you want one. So if you don't want to pay $300 or whatever bucks for a Switch, you can buy a 3DS. The other thing was, like I thought, the ports are basically part of their major releases for the month. So they show, as far as like their upcoming games, they have the Bayonetta bundle in February, then Kirby in March, and then April is Labo, and then May is Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and then sometime spring is Mario Tennis, and sometime this year is Yoshi. So yeah, they're using ports as their like major title for some of the months. Which I guess isn't surprising because they're charging full price for them, even though they're not really changing anything, which is ridiculous. But they'll still be able to get away with it because people buy it anyway. So that kind of sucks. That like.
Well,
that's
I
their
don't. I
big
mean,
title.
I don't think it's necessarily an issue that they're re-releasing games. I mean, nobody really owned the Wii U, so it's definitely going to be exposed. But the fact that they're making those their premier titles, I think that's definitely problematic.
Do you
Yeah,
think we'll
that's
get
part of the
another
problem.
direct before like all these games drop, or like but not about these games? Obviously, I hear there's gonna be something about Fire Emblem, but like I don't
mean,
really
they might
care.
do a game-specific direct, and maybe who knows? Fire Emblem was announced a while ago. Maybe you'll see that
right.
sooner rather than
It's like
later.
yeah, I mean the like remember everyone called that direct that announced all these a mini direct anyway, so I don't think people are taking it as serious, but they are the releases that we should be looking forward to.
Well, it's weird because they called it mini, and then they're like, "Here's what we're doing in the first half of the year." It's like, well, that ain't mini. Like, how do you just say this is the next 6 months, and it's like, this isn't really a lot of news. It's like, well, how am I supposed to take this news? You're sending mixed signals.
What do you want,
They're
Nintendo?
confusing. Yeah, really. And then the last thing that I thought was interesting is they said to promote longer gameplay for individual games, we're going to put even more DLC into these games. So I don't know if it's... So it seems like it'll be a mix of free and paid because they show, examples of Zelda, Splatoon, Xenoblade, Mario Odyssey.
Mario doesn't count, right? With
ARMS.
that
So
Luigi thing.
yeah, well, they put it in their thumbnail, so that's what they're counting. But I mean, like, they show examples of free and paid, so I guess rather than do one and done, you'll see more content come to your games, which
Cool.
we'll see. And then apparently the SNES Mini has sold over 1 million units, and they're going to be putting out more, so...
Wait, was it 1 million? I thought it said 4 million.
Oh, sorry. You're right. It says 4 million.
Wow, that
I
is
missed part of the title.
a lot.
Good catch.
Big difference, buddy.
Yeah, and apparently they're going to keep selling the NES Classic as well. So they're going to keep selling both of them. So if you didn't get them,
Oh, they're gonna remake the NES Classic.
Yeah, they said we have announced that we will resume production for the NES Classic this year. So they're selling both of them. So if you didn't get one,
That's amazing.
yeah, you can get one.
I had to get
wonder
my
what was
dad a
going on.
bootleg one.
I was just gonna say, my friend bought what I assume is a bootleg one because he got it from China, and he lives in California, so I haven't been able to check it out with my own two eyes. To like,
It's 100% bootleg. Trust me, man. They was the only ones I could like really buy.
He sent me a picture, and like from a picture, it looked fine. But I was thinking, there's no way you got one of those for cost now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, that doesn't check out. Like, but I didn't want to rain on his parade, so I was just like, does it work? He's like, yeah, it works great. I was like, okay.
All you gotta do is ask him is when he gets in the either take a picture of the menu or how many games does he have on it? Because he has like more than the that amount.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. He's not much of a gamer. He got it kind of like his main stated reason was I want to play Super Mario 3 with my kid, and I was like, that's a fine reason to want to get it. I'm not going to rain on your parade. Like that's like you don't care about how legit it is on some level. And and if you were really, he was like the most bummed person I knew when you couldn't get one. That he was just like, this sucks. Like, Clay, what's the deal? You're the Nintendo guy. I'm like, I can't get you one. What are you about? Like, these are impossible. Yeah.
You're like, look. I mean, even though my uncle works for Nintendo, I mean,
Everybody's does. I mean, come on. All right. So what else is? You guys were talking like big news dropped. Nice. Okay.
Thanks off. So yeah, they announced some other interesting things. So the Switch Online is going to launch this year, but it's not anytime soon. It's September.
Okay.
So it seems like it has been delayed, like the rumors have said. Some of the other rumors came up here too.
Does that mean VC and everything else is probably delayed as well?
Yeah, I don't see them putting out Virtual Console until they do this thing.
That's an embarrassment.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are excited for VC. Trust me, like one of my friends got a Switch because he's like, yo, I just want to play old games on the go. And I'm like, it'll come, man. It'll come.
Yeah.
Depends. Maybe it won't because they keep selling those classic
those minis
systems.
Yeah, man. Oh yeah, the classics. I forgot they call it that. Yeah.
Come on, they're the classics, bro. I would wonder if they nail down a date for when online starts. I hate to give them ideas here. I know Nintendo listens to our little humble podcast here. I hate to give them ideas, but is that going to be them coinciding the announcement for Smash coming to Switch? Like they're going to be like online comes in September, and then Christmas 2018 Smash Switch, whatever they're going to call it, like arrives, which is going to be a version of Smash Wii U, the great game that's going to win this week's tournament when we get the vote. Is coming because they want. I mean, what's bigger than that? They already have Mario Kart for online. They already got Splatoon. They already whet our appetites for the online. What else is there? You know what I mean? The obvious answer is sitting right in front of you. It's like, well, why would you pay other than, like you guys are saying, VC with this weird new feature where we're going to be able to play classic games against each other apparently over the internet? Like,
okay,
let
me say something. Maybe Nintendo's always trying to be this company that does something unique or creative. I don't know, maybe they got some incredible idea back there, or maybe they're trying to really make it on par with the others. Like if there's achievements, tell you what, you can delay it another year. I just want my achievements.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, wait, Eli, if you play Disgaea D5 full complete edition, you do get achievements in that game.
Yeah, but they're not system wide. Nobody cares, Mike.
Damn it, you're right.
We're never going to get achievements. Mark my words. We're not on this system.
I don't know. I feel like we might
Clay,
be like.
Clay, tell you what. If they let's place a bet. If they ever do put achievements on the system, you owe me like $100, and then if they, as long as they don't, then like when you die or something, I can like Venmo you for.
100's too rich for my blood, but let's think on this bet because I'd want to narrow the terms of the bet. I'd say on the Switch. Well, we'll think about it. Well, I'll get back to you on this because I'm not going to go in for a hundo because Nintendo, they're always going to do something you might not expect, and so I grant you that. But the thing I don't expect them to do is imitate the other systems that blatantly. That just is like screams desperate Sony, Xbox, like always trying to imitate the other company, always trying to imitate the Mii's, always trying to imitate motion control. Like Nintendo don't play that. Like Nintendo's like, no, we do.
No, yeah, but Sega does. Sega does, but Nintendo don't, bro.
Here's the other thing: they already do kind of have achievements in the smartphone games. You can get like play coins, or not play coins. That's the 3DS.
Well, but they actually mean
get
something. The coins you get go to your Nintendo account, and you can buy stuff with them.
Yeah, that's
actual thing.
Yes, thank you. I was getting to that. They're like
I was like arguing. I was like, oh wait, yeah.
But
I figured bad.
a couple of years ago they made their plan like, oh, we'll have all these, the Switch, the PC, and your smartphone interconnected, blah blah blah. And I think those coins were a part of that, even though they're kind of janky and useless right now.
Sure.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they have them in like some sort of capacity where it's like, hey, you get an achievement and you get these coins because they already have that set up. I don't think it will be as extensive as the other consoles will, because I think they have like 100 achievements or something insane. But I think there's probably going to be something in there. It'll just be to a smaller extent. And I don't know if it will be something that you can check other people's achievements, because you can't even do that with the current games now. It's just you check your own list and you can redeem rewards and stuff with it, whether it's in the game.
But you can see what games the peeps be playing these days.
You can, but I don't.
That's true.
You can't check like, oh, Mike has gotten to this chapter in Fire Emblem Heroes or something. It's closed off. So I think there probably will be that system at some point, and maybe that's that wouldn't be the only reason why it's taking long, but if they have something, I would bet on that being the case, and I wouldn't bet anymore.
That's the most convincing thing I think I've heard here, is that you're suggesting that since we have made leaps and bounds. I tell the truth. Do you guys log in and check what everyone else is doing pretty often on your Switch, or do you just not really?
I rarely do it. I checked the other day when I put you guys as my favorites. I was like, I'm gonna make my guys like these favorites because like I got like a random friend request. So I was like, all right, let me start peeping what everyone does. But
right.
I mean, I only really care about my own trophies, or like even on PlayStation. Like I used to care a little bit more on PS3 because I'll be like, all right, which friends have this and which friends played it. But I mean, if it would, like Nintendo had it, I'd be a little bit more interested, to be honest, because I mean, I care more about Nintendo games than anything else. So
Yeah, because I admit, like, I look a lot to see what everyone else is playing because it gives me ideas of what I want to play or what's trending. Partly for the show, partly just curiosity. Like, I want to see what's hot. Like, what's because I have I like just mostly because of my IGN. Everybody that was my friend on Wii U and 3DS has friended me now on Switch, and then a few randos and a few from Twitter and stuff like that. Maybe some people have friended me from here. I don't know. There's a couple of people that have sent me friend requests. I don't know who they are. I'm just like, sure, whatever. It's not like it's gonna.
Yeah, I'll get a random one from like my old Wii U one. I'm like, I don't even know who this guy is. But then like, I mean, I occasionally delete them, but I do like to see like, oh, okay, this guy was playing this. Like, it really helps to have some of the smartphone apps because it's another way to find a few friends I never added from Wii U. And I'm like, oh, okay, here's all my local friends. But Switch tells you, you're like, oh, this is your friend from Mario Run. This is your friend from this. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yep. Yeah. So that kind of like. I like looking at that. And when you say about the achievements, I'm like, wait, that friend list thing is the closest thing we have to that because I can see what y'all are playing and how long you've played it roughly. And then I can really gauge like what kind of gamer some people are. That's the neatest thing I find about it. I can look and see like, oh, Matt obviously hated the Snake Pass game we got him. He played it for like 2 minutes and was like, I'm done with that piece of crap, you know. But here he is like playing like some like weird ukulele knockoff like game over here or something like that instead, you know, or whatever.
I only booted up some games so I could test something out.
I know, yeah, you do a lot of demos. Like literally, I know that about you. You check a lot of demos, as does one of my other friends.
I download like a dozen demos on my PS4 when I got it. I'm like, well, I'll download these and they'll be done by like the next day because they're all like insanely huge.
I forget the Switch has demos. Damn.
Lots of them. Matt's got like, you should see his, it looks like he's playing more games than he has because it's like all demos. When you scroll down his list, you're like, oh, Matt's demo guy, you know, over here. But that's cool. I don't really. I tend not to ever get them. I got my first one the other day because I was really curious about that Inversus Deluxe like game because not a lot of Switch games have online support, like relatively speaking to the number of games in the library. And that game that has good reviews it's just a really simple puzzle game that you can play over the internet with other people live. And I was like, so what is that? Is it worth the $10 or whatever it is if I ever have a friend, you know, that we're like looking for someone we can play against each other over the internet, you know? So I downloaded that mainly because that was the reason. If I have to convince someone else to buy it, then that is like where I wanted to know. I was like, was it worth it? Am I, you know, if I say, hey, let's both buy this game and play it tonight, you know, or something like that, you know? But anyway, I think we're good and off track here. Anyway, achievements. I'll walk it back and say maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Eli's like desire isn't insane, but I just feel like it's way too obvious, like for Nintendo to just like straight up do achievements because I don't know.
I think the unobvious thing. I mean, no, it's not obvious. It's just like, oh, was it obvious for them to put their games online? You know, it's not like, oh, it's everyone is doing this thing and they have to do it too. It's like this is because it's an expected system feature. It's not because, oh, Sony has this sports game and, Microsoft has this one also. And so every system should have one and they're going to copy it. This is like something that's a standard that is, expected.
Yeah, even iPhone games have achievements.
Yeah, it's not like it's like, oh, we're copying them. It's like, well, this is literally the standard now in the 21st century.
Huh. I don't think of it that. But you make a good case. Case.
One thing I did want to ask, Clay, you said that to play VC games online against other people. Like, see, that's a low-key dream of mine, but I don't think that's going to happen. Like, there's no way they're going to add
with
yeah, they said it is. They said it's going to be a feature.
Their one game a month thing or whatever is they're adding multiplayer to.
Oh shit! Okay, that's awesome then. All right, I'm waiting for that Mario Party 1 with online servers then.
Oh man, no, if only.
That would be.
If only.
Yeah. That would be amazing. But yeah, they're not gonna do that. But that would be literally amazing. You're just like facing off against other people, like 4 other people online in Mario Party. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I think they're talking more like NES like level of stuff.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be able to play like Balloon Fight, is an obvious candidate. Like that kind of stuff. They're gonna be like Balloon Fight. Now you can finally play your friends online. You're like, you guys have probably never even played Balloon Fight. You're gonna be like, finally.
I played it on the WarioWare, so finally.
Classic Nintendo move right there. See, that's all of it for achievements, not so much.
Oh, it's all about WarioWare. All right, I'm waiting for my online
Gotcha. All
WarioWare.
right, Matt. We're derailing your beautiful podcast.
It's
Matt.
okay. I just hope whenever they launched, well, they said they'll launch it in September, so September. But man, I really hope they make it worth the wait, and it's not just like, hey, it's online, you can play online now, because that would just be incredibly pathetic to be like, yeah, we took like 2 years to get something out that you could do on the Wii U, I think, at launch. It's like,
Yeah,
that's
they need to
not
mess.
acceptable.
They
Like,
need
it
to
has
mess
to.
it,
They
right.
really have to hit at home. I'm sure there's
have to
going to be
mess it.
something interesting with it. Maybe like integrate Miiverse or something. There must be like some weird thing coming with it that we're not going to see coming. Because that's the only reason why I can
Yeah.
see why it would take this long. That or maybe
Yeah,
they're,
they'll
partnered with
have
someone.
they'll send you prizes, you know, like
Yeah.
called they'll call it My Nintendo, and they'll give you cool shit for playing their games. Except this
Aw.
time they'll person deliver it. R.I.P. though, great system. I mean, great. Yeah, it was like great system or OS or whatever the kids call it these days. It's such a great concept, man. It makes me upset. When I look at
They
I have
don't
so
even
many
have-
gold coins.
They don't even
It's just like-
have wallpapers or
All right,
themes.
but-
Come
and
on.
did you
That's
guys-
all
have
need
you
to
guys
do. People
noticed-
will spend them.
Yeah, dude, have you guys noticed that you don't get 12 gold coins if you own the game digitally? Like you have to use the game card. Like, it makes me mad.
Yeah, there's
dude.
some like weird conversion or it's messed up. They're even trying to give them no, they're not trying to give them the way they like advertise the gold coins on their Twitter at some point. It's like, look, no one cares. You have to give a reason. If you at least put out a couple of themes, like people would easily use their gold coins. For
They're
that.
not even good though. It's like getting gold coins for a coupon, dude. Like, oh,
Yeah,
you get
for a coupon
30%
for a
off.
game,
You know,
That's
it
all.
sucks.
Some people pointed out they're like, yeah, this game's already on sale for that price without the coupon. Like physically, you don't even need the coupon.
Yep. And it's
bad.
just like, oh, okay, good job, Nintendo.
All right, so let's move on to the other part. So they also announced, so they've been doing a lot of smartphone apps, and the next one is going to be Mario Kart. It's called Mario Kart Tour. It's going to come by March 2019, which is their fiscal year, they said. So who knows? It might
Wait,
come
a Mario
early.
Kart iOS game?
Yeah.
What?
Just
we're-
got announced.
I'm assuming it's gonna.
What?
I'm assuming it's gonna be a game and not like some other thing because all their apps have been games besides Miitomo. So I don't think it's some other weird Mario Kart spin-off thing. I think it's
Yeah.
probably gonna be a game because they've already done it with like the arcade machines too.
Oh
with, like,
yeah,
Mario Kart
I
versus
played them. I mean, they
Namco.
have them at Dave and Buster's, but
Yeah.
they have like a number 2 version where basically they teamed up with Namco Bandai. For people who don't know, you can play against like Pac-Man or the Toki drum guy, the Taiko drum guy, and stuff.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. Especially because mobile doesn't have good controls. So
Yeah.
turning in that, like, I can't imagine drifting well because it would
Yeah.
be quite weird. But I don't know. What are
Yeah.
your guys' thoughts? Are you interested
Eli
in
hasn't
this?
talked at all. This Eli.
Yeah,
has usually-
I'll go last, I guess, because I mean, I don't know. I have a weird relationship with Mario Kart anyway.
Hot.
I mean, I
Yeah.
won't play it. I think what I found is that every time I've said that I would play a mobile game, I never do. So I'm just not even going to lie to myself this time around. So,
Nice.
yeah. Also, like, I don't know. From what I've seen from the numbers, other than what Pokemon Go and I guess arguably Fire Emblem, Nintendo hasn't really been making money off these mobile games. So Mario Kart will probably be different because it's Mario Kart. But at what point are we like, all right, guys, like you're making way more money on consoles?
I mean, you know, mobile is the thing for Japan, but even though they really are making the money, like you said, I don't know. It feels like another one of those, like, oh, we got to get with the time. You know, like, iOS is better. But at the same time, you're right. It's like, Fire Emblem worked out because it's Fire Emblem. Like, it's funny that Animal Crossing, I really thought Animal Crossing would be their number one thing. But maybe it's Dina's fault, or DNA, or however they're supposed to say it. You know, like, they're their previous projects weren't like amazing anyway, and I think they committed too hard onto somebody that's too new and not that good.
Yeah, the weird thing was at one point I would have said maybe these are gonna be like they're supposed to be advertising their actual games, and I figured, oh, they'll release this and then like a month or two later the actual game will come out. But Animal Crossing released on the app game released October last year, and they had a mini direct for like the first half of the year, and Animal Crossing's not on there, so it's not really like advertising their games, because if it's like a year away from it, it's like, is that really advertising at that point? Like people probably left it and forgot about it at that point. So I don't really know what the heck they're doing with these, to be quite honest now.
I mean, oh, you go, Clay, you go.
No, I was going to say, see, you stole my argument, but you inverted it and said it's not right. I think these are you're exactly right. These are advertisements, and they're low budget, much lesser cost development cycles, like for them to make these games. But the most important thing is that they come out when the game isn't imminent. Like, it's to keep you and the public, not us. These aren't for us. I mean, if you want to play them, fine. But it's to keep the public aware that Nintendo's rad, and it's to keep the casuals who may not be inclined to buy a Switch aware of Nintendo. And if you get those casuals hooked on Mario Kart enough that they play it and they have the next Flappy Bird on their hands, you never know. Bang, that person goes out and buys a Switch because they're like, you know what? I miss playing Mario Kart. And they're telling their friend they're playing this thing on mobile. And they're like, yo, you can play Mario Kart 8. It's rad, right? And they go and buy one. It's a living advertisement that may, and I don't know. I don't play, I'm not a phone gamer, and it sounds like most of us aren't, like right here. But I don't know the life cycle of these games, if they have a long tail, that they're getting played for like a year or more. I know, you can look at the download numbers and stuff like that, but like the people buy these, put them on their phone. They probably have a short lifespan. I'll grant that. But I think that is the idea. I think it is an advertisement. It isn't just to get you to buy the next game that's coming out in a month. The idea is to make you remember or introduce you to Animal Crossing, and then maybe farm you in later. And by the way, make a few bucks along the way. Like Eli's saying, they don't make a ton of money off these. Okay, granted. But if they make back the money of development on it, they're going to call it a win, because they got Animal Crossing into a bunch more people's heads, because I'm sure the iPhone store, the App Store, if you already have Mario Run, the one everybody got in your iPhone store, it's going to suggest to you that maybe you like this new Animal Crossing game. You're like, what's that? I never played that. And you play it and you find out, holy crap, turns you into a gamer. Or the new Mario Kart. I mean, everybody knows what Mario Kart is. It's going to get downloaded a bajillion times. Will it make money? I don't know if that's the point. I mean, it might be a loss leader, as they say in business, where it's like, hey, we put this out there. We're not expecting to get rich on this, but it keeps Mario Kart relevant to a whole nother generation of kids. And someday they might be the ones buying, like Nintendo's like 15th system someday down the road, and they're going to buy Mario Kart because guess what? It's going to be weird to you and me, but their first Mario Kart game was on an iPhone, and we're like, what? How embarrassing, but they spend it.
How dare they?
Yeah.
But
steal the phone out of their
me,
hand,
like,
break it. You're like, this is pathetic.
I'm like that with you guys. You guys are like my first Zelda game. It was so great. It was called Ocarina of Time. Did you ever hear of it? And I'm like, what are you? My head's exploding. I'm like, how dare you? Like, I should just come into your house and take away your Super
That's
Nintendo.
not Zelda. I was like, yo, and this Zelda guy's really cool, And you're like, ah.
No, but seriously, it could be that way. It's like, I mean, that is the long game here. This company's been around since the 1800s. The long game, like get that Mario Kart in front of these new kids. That, like, I see kids at the supermarket that are like 6 years old playing at their parents' iPhones. It's not for us, guys.
I see that. I see that at restaurants too. They're playing like on iPads and stuff.
It's not for us.
No,
I know
it's that.
It's for a whole
I'm
bunch
fine
of
with
people.
that.
I
just don't understand. Like, I think there's like a perfect window for it to make sense, and granted, maybe 1 or 2 months. My guesstimate of 1 or 2 months might be a bit short, because they're still interested in that and don't really care about anything else. But I don't know. I think I feel like the best time would be to launch a new game within a 6-month period, because other than that, people might be like, oh yeah, I played that once, it was fine. I'm not interested in it anymore. I've moved on, sort of thing. So I don't know what the perfect like I feel
The
like
sweet
a year
spot.
would be I feel like a year would be too long where it's like, yeah, I forgot about it. I got my fill on that thing. I don't care anymore.
That's kind of me. I
Especially
would say
with-
I'm more of the casual gamer on like especially iOS Nintendo apps. Like I'll try it, and I'm like, it's not really for me. And then I'll play it like 1 or 2 more days, and then now they're just like there. Like I don't really go back to them. Like I know a few people who play the Animal Crossing because they just love Animal Crossing and nothing else really. But like I just don't care, man. Just straight up, and like I'll just stop playing them, and I'm like, damn, I must be the regular average consumer for them on the iOS because like they'll just see I downloaded it, played it a lot during the first 2 weeks, and now I don't even touch it.
Well,
So,
this is the weird
right.
thing about this app is that there's already technically a Mario Kart game on the Switch. It's a port of the Wii U one, but well, I guess this app isn't coming until like a year from now because it said by the end of March 2019. So within the next year at least. But yeah,
I don't think.
know.
I just don't think it hurts them. I mean, I can see what you're saying, Matt. Being like a little like less enthused by it or not understanding their strategy. But I just don't think there's any downside to it for them.
I don't
like,
think that. I just
what I mean?
I'm just trying to get a grasp on what their angle is.
It's throwing something out there. It's throwing something out there to get it in front of people's eyes that don't have a Switch, don't have a 3DS. That's all it is. It's there are, I mean, like by percentage, it's probably like 1/100th of the population has a 1/1000th of the population has a Switch or a 3DS, but 999,000%, however you would say it, of the population does have a phone. And it's
okay. Now I get where you're going with it.
They're trying to get even one of my friends that runs like his own business, 3 businesses, said the most profound thing to me the other day because he was trying to pitch to me the idea of some app he's trying to develop. Not important to get into that story, but he was trying to pitch the app to me, and we were just having beers, and he was telling me about what he's thinking about trying to do and bounce the idea off me to see what I think of it. And I was like, I don't know. I see what you're trying to say, but I don't really see how. I don't think a lot of people are really going to adopt that idea. It just didn't sound like something like it's going to set the world on fire. And the dude's really smart. He probably is one of the richer people I know, and he's younger than me even. And he just self-made guy, starts his own businesses, does all kinds of crazy ideas. And he looks at me and he goes, I don't need it to set the world on fire. If I get 1/100th or something % of people that own a phone to buy it, I'm going to be a millionaire. And I'm like, damn right. I take back everything I just said. If you sold this thing 10,000 times, you made a ton of money. Like you just made shovels of money. Like, it's like you won't be able to put it in your house, the amount of money you're going to make in a day, if it takes off even a tiny bit. So it was like that kind of idea, on a small scale. I don't know. He made me really think about it. I was like, yeah, you don't have to win. You don't have to be Bill Gates. You don't have to be Steve Jobs. But, and like Nintendo's on that level. And they're just thinking, all we need to do is stay relevant. All we need to do is stay on top. All we need to do is get in front of people's eyes on those phones. And that 1% of people who might buy a Switch because of it are going to be our win. It's not even the game. It's not even whether we make money in Mario Run, or something like that.
Yeah, but how much are they losing developing this, etc.? You could always say that,
We will never know because they'll never tell us.
It'll be negligible.
Yeah.
But Eli has to head out, so we'll let him head out. Before you head out, Eli, do you have a one-word response to the Minions people making a Mario movie?
I guess I hope for the best, and that was several words. But I mean, I'm optimistic. I think that they make the studio there makes decent movies, so I'm hopeful that it could be good. But if it's just aimed at kids, then I'll be kind of disappointed. That's all I got. It was nice talking to you guys this week.
All right,
Yeah,
it's good hearing from you, man. I know you want Mario to be talking like one of the Minion guys, like like blah blah blah, and you're gonna be like, that's a classic Mario.
So the real question is, are all the Goombas and stuff gonna act like minions?
Oh gosh,
damn. I
they're
didn't think about
probably
that,
gonna be the
man.
fill-in Minions. Yeah,
There's
That
a
or the
question
Koopas.
I'll leave for you as I depart.
Oh man.
Damn you, Eli.
All right, I'll see ya.
Heard, see
See
you.
ya.
You tell me.
Why do
so-
in seriousness, I've never seen Minions. Why does everyone hate the Minions? Like I see their stickers and their logos.
I mean, I've never seen the Minions movie. I saw Despicable Me 1, not that good, but I saw Despicable Me 3, kind of funny, and they're at Universal, but they're just stupid. Like it's just stupid. That's the only thing
I
that
think
really
it's
is
just
out.
like the lowest common. Like I haven't seen it either. Wow, great people. I think people hate them because they're like the lowest common denominator for humor. Like a bunch of fart jokes. A bunch of
Okay.
Yeah, just beating
that
them
kind of,
up,
like just
stupid
reused
stuff
jokes
like
you've
that.
seen a million times, sort of thing. So
And
I
They
think
they
that's
speak
pretty
their
much
own
it.
made up language too. The guy
I
literally
never
made up
saw it.
that language.
Interesting. Now I feel really embarrassed because I have a Minion sticker on the back of my Kindle here that I just randomly put there because someone gave it to me, and it saved my life when my Kindle got lost in Japan. When I described it, I think I told that story in the Japan episode, but I literally described my Kindle to a woman who didn't speak English, standing on a train platform, who was a worker, and when I said the word minion, her eyes light up, and she's like, "Minions?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it has a minion
Yeah,
sticker."
people love the Minions, man. The girls love
Ran
them.
and got
They're-
it instantly.
yeah.
Yeah. She ran.
Like
She knew
my
exactly-
Chinese classmates have like a Minion sweatshirt and umbrella and all that. Oh, they're
Oh man.
yeah, they're cute, bro.
See, I don't want to see the movie. I gotta love them because they saved my Kindle from being totally lost. So I gotta love them, and I don't want to see the movie.
DreamWorks, thank you.
Moving on, Matt. Take
But,
us away from the Minions.
Yeah, I didn't get to talk about Mario movie, how it's gonna be
Oh,
the
my
best
bad.
movie of all time. Not biased, of course, just because I love Mario and Nintendo. So get ready for all the Emmys. All right, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, so they also announced this in like their Twitter rate of news. These were like the three things they announced on their Twitter: the Switch Online, the Mario Kart app, and this. Which this is interesting because a couple of years ago they talked about it, and I want to say a couple of months ago. I don't remember the exact time frame, but I do remember a rumor that they were working with Illumination, which is the studio that makes Minions and Despicable Me and all that. There was a rumor that they were making a movie with them, and it turns out that was correct. So yeah, this
Hey,
will
when
be
rumors are
interesting.
correct, freaking. Gosh, I had the perfect Mario movie. All right, Leonardo DiCaprio, Mario, all right? The Rock,
Gosh.
Luigi, Mark Wahlberg as Toad, like one of the Toads that'll help him out. All right, and then who's that super hot chick? The one who played Harley Quinn and the one who played the wife in
Oh,
in the
Margot
Wolf-
Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could be Peach.
He's gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Bowser, I think we were gonna CGI him, but Nolan North can voice him. Alright? Perfect movie. Alright? And then Wario could be I don't know, like John Cena or something if he's in it. He's all like, "You can't see me, Mario. Wow!" And he's like, "Yo, what the hell?" And then Luigi the Rock is like, "I could sniff him out. Don't worry about it."
You guys are gonna laugh of how lame I am. I know John Cena's name, but I don't follow stuff like that, and I know he's a wrestler or something. But like the other day, I'm watching a pretty funny movie called Sisters with Tina Fey, and he's in it, and like I didn't know who he was. This is definitely the first time I've ever seen him that I know of in my real life. Like I've never seen this John Cena fellow before, but I kept going, "Is that guy CGI? He is humongous. Like that man's body is unreal. Like I mean, I can't believe anyone looks like that. Like he is just maxed out in like a muscle shirt, like walking around in the movie. Like, and I'm like, I swear they did some kind of digital manipulation to this guy. And then I Google it. I'm like, oh. So that's why he's famous.
John Cena. That's why he's famous. Also,
My mind was blown. I was like, so that is a real shape that somebody's body can be. Holy crap! It was amazing.
Man.
Yeah, no, I'm on the outside of that kind of stuff. I was like John Cena wrestling. I don't give a crap. Like I don't know who that is. Yeah, right. He's a wrestler, right? I mean, I'm even saying it. I'm not sure, right? He's like some WWE superstar or something, right?
Yeah. I think he retired to be an actor now. He was in like 2 movies that recently came out.
Like The Rock. He's trying to do the Rock thing, right? Okay,
Yeah. But like The Rock is like number one action star in the world. You know, John Cena,
Yeah.
like he has a really good personality, so he's like in a lot more funnier movies. He was in this CGI movie called like Toros that just came out, and he was in another movie where he's a parent, right? And
Okay.
it's something about like the daughters trying to lose their virginity, and he's like trying to stop it with the other parents. You know, like I said, like he's kind of more. Yeah. Like I haven't seen him ever in a serious action role, and I don't think many people have because he's done so much kid movies. Like he's in a Scooby Doo movie, actually. That's how famous he is. He's literally in Scooby Doo and John Cena do
Oh,
something.
John Cena, yeah. Oh, yeah, he's in an animated one.
Yeah,
That's so weird.
like that's
Scooby-Doo partners.
like The
with a
Rock
lot
is really
of random
famous, like
people.
for like being action and like his famous lines and how he still does WWE. The Rock, but like John Cena's like he was like the spokesperson for Fruity Pebbles too. Like kids love John Cena. Everyone loves
That's
The Rock. That's
no,
a big
That
difference.
sounds like part of the commercial. Kids love John Cena.
Yeah,
Da,
right.
da, da, da.
Oh my god.
Google a photo of him in the movie Sisters with Tina Fey, and like he's like it partly is because he's standing next to small petite women in a lot of the film, but he looks stupid humongous. Like I just it was like mind blowing. I was like, this must be how it was to see Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day when you were just like, nobody can truly be that gigantic, and then it's like, yeah, you can. Yeah, you really can. It's insane. Yeah, it was funny stuff. I was really feeling my ignorant like tuned out self right there. So retro, yeah. And by the way, like I still think of Rock as a wrestler. I'm like that. I'm like,
Yeah,
Rock,
of course,
Rock.
man. I mean, you know, I still think, but it's
Sorry, he's a
like
wrestler.
he's just so famous now, man. You know, it's crazy. Like it's funny. I remember seeing his first movie ever. He was like some bounty hunter in like some like Vegas town thing. I can't remember it. I just remember going to see the movie and I had The Rock in it. I was like, oh, this movie's sick. You know,
Was
I
it the
was like,
Mummy? Mummy
No,
wasn't his
oh
first
yeah,
film?
he's the Scorpion King in Mummy too, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I remember that.
no, he had. I'm talking about his first own started movie. I watched him do, and I was like, I was young, so I wasn't really the big movie buff I was. But
Yep. Nice. Well, anyhow, I'm derailing the podcast with my John Cena
No,
lack
that's
thereof.
fine. It's fun.
Nice. So, besides John Cena being in, a Nintendo-related film.
Yeah.
oh yeah, I mean, tell me not that was not the perfect Dream Team lineup. I just said, man.
It was good.
Yeah,
It was
that's
a good
great.
pitch. It was a good
It's
pitch.
great. I
Yeah.
love it.
I think Nintendo really, really doesn't want to go that route after the original Super Mario Brothers movie, though. I think they're going to be a little gunshot.
It would be a dumb
of your
deci-
idea.
I don't think. There's probably some movies they could do live action that would be interesting, but yeah, definitely not Mario.
Yeah,
It's
I
just-
can only
it
really
doesn't
see
work.
Samus like
Yeah.
Metroid being that. Like I can't even see Zelda being done live action.
Oh,
Like you
really?
can't have a hero who's not gonna talk, and you can't, you know what I mean? And
I guess
like,
so.
and the only story they could do, in my opinion, would be Ocarina of Time. Like that would be like the best one to talk about. Like it's not that long, even though it kind of
Right.
is. You know, like, I always thought about it, and IGN they used to do really good April Fool's stuff, and they did an Ocarina of Time movie
Yeah.
review. Like I don't know if you've ever seen it,
feel-
Clay, but it's a
No,
really
I
good.
didn't.
It's actually really cool. So I mean, you play Ocarina of Time, you'd get it. There's a lot of references in it. I would recommend checking it out once the podcast is done. Like
I
with
could
the
see
basic-
them. I
the
honestly
basic
don't think it's outlandish to imagine them doing a Zelda movie someday if the Mario one works out. But I mean, if I had to bet, it would not be tied to one game. It would have time travel in it. It would have all the elements like that we think of, but it would be like, it would not try to be one of the games. It would be like elements from the games turned into a movie, the way Resident Evil and stuff kind of are, things like
Yeah.
that, where it's like,
Yeah, it wouldn't
We're
be
not
a
gonna
specific
down.
story from a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I think I could see them doing that. It would have time travel though, because that's one of the coolest things in Zelda.
Mhm.
It would have masks and time travel and stuff like that, but we wouldn't get buried in the details of like.
I mean,
what
that's the thing though. Like, I hate the Resident Evil movies. They'd be like, oh, there's some references to it, but then like I'm like, how could they call this Resident Evil? Like Resident Evil 2 movie did have a lot more Resident Evil stuff, but then you look at it, and I'm like, yo, this is stupid. Like this is not Resident Evil. They're just using the
I
name.
never watched a single one.
Yeah,
I've heard they're
that's-
so bad.
Yeah, they're garbage. Like if you liked Resident Evil, and I didn't really like it, I just knew about it, and I played like one or two of them. I just hate them, dude. I just hate them.
That's what I've heard. I've heard they're garbage.
I don't
that's why-
think to make a video game movie, I agree. Like you can't just be like, we're gonna make a movie version of this story, because the problem with games is like the cutscenes alone can just be 3 hours, just themselves, and then there's like the actual game part that is like the journey that you would be watching in the movie too that's important. So you'd have to, yeah, you definitely have to take like elements and be creative with it just to be able to fit into a movie time. I don't know if they'll actually do live action of any property, simply because they cost a lot more than just going to some animation studio, being like making.
Oh yeah, of course you can't. I mean, The Rock probably costs like $20 billion just to like, you know what I mean?
Actually, you know what? Who knows? Because they're doing a live action Detective Pikachu movie, which, you know, I know isn't Nintendo doing, it's the Pokemon company. But maybe if that does well, Nintendo will look over. I don't know. Because
it did get Ryan Reynolds. I mean, you know, come on. But Ryan Reynolds is fake A-list. He's like B tier, dude.
How dare you?
You know?
He's great. But yeah, I don't know. I think any of their properties would cost too much to do live action for them to like seriously consider doing. The only way I could see it happening is like a decade down the line where like it's big enough. Not saying that their properties aren't big enough, but like big enough. I don't know. There would have to be. I think it'd have to be a lot more bigger. Way to go, Matt. I don't know.
Big,
I think it would have to.
Be,
I think
enough.
it would have to have a lot more appeal for them to actually do like a live action movie to make it to justify the cost.
Okay.
But I don't know. I think this Mario movie could be fine. It's. Yeah, I don't know. It's an animated movie. I don't think you could really do it that bad. I don't think just because it's Illumination that they'll do it bad. Like people were concerned about Mario vs. Rabbids, and that was completely fine. So I don't think they'll screw up the characters on anything. It's more of a matter of, can you make a movie that's interesting enough to watch for, who knows, an hour or 90 minutes or whatever it is. Obviously, it's going to be aimed towards kids, but you know, you still got to have some kind of story. I don't know how they would do it. My pitch a couple of years ago was make it more of like Mario and Luigi, where you have Mario and Luigi, and they just kind of like, they don't talk themselves, but they'll go to towns, and like the NPCs will talk, and they'll be kind of leading the story. Whereas Mario and Luigi will just kind of like react to the situations, just like they do in the games and stuff like that. I think that's probably the best way to handle it, because no one's going to want to listen to Charles Martinet screech for an hour and a half. That's definitely not going to work.
I mean, Matt, you're asking the wrong guys, because I wouldn't mind that. So.
I think it'd be too much. I don't know. I'm not a 6-year-old, so maybe that wouldn't bug me, but I think it would just be too much.
Well, Charles does.
Unless they get like another
screeching. He does talk as Mario.
No, so, I know. Like... I didn't mean like screeching. I just meant like.
But the thing is, he does everybody though. There's no way if they do the movie, they're gonna make him do Mario, Luigi. You know what I mean? And everybody else.
Maybe they just get another voice actor.
I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe they'll get like, I'm just gonna throw out a name, like Scarlett Johansson do Pete. So they'll be like, okay, we have somebody with a name to promote our movie. And, you know, we have, Mario just gonna regular Mario or the original voice guy. So it's like, oh, we're appealing to both, you know? So it's like they have somebody to really promote it. Like, just a known female voice actor for Peach, obviously. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Should be too much. I mean, DreamWorks, they've worked with a lot of people, you know? I mean, obviously they work with Steve Carell and whatever, all his team. So maybe they would be like, oh, I wouldn't mind camoing or doing one of the voices over.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what direction they take with this. It's not going to happen for at least a year, I think, because if they're announcing it, they either just started or they're only. I don't think they're that far into it. Basically, is what I'm saying. So, I think within a year's time they'll probably have a trailer. We'll see. That'd be funny if they show up to E3 and they have a trailer for a Mario movie. I wonder how people would react to that.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a risky play if it's.
I don't think it would, but.
That's a risky play. Yeah, you never know though. If it's something good, and they could definitely drop that, and get some hype going for the film. Especially if they don't have other big announcements. Who knows? Hard to say.
Actually, they'll probably pull a Labo and just do it on like some random day, just so it doesn't get like stuck underneath all the other news.
Is that a thing now, doing a Labo?
Yeah.
And by that you mean pulling off the most awesome thing ever that surprises Clay and makes his week?
No, I mean
No,
surprising us out of
they
nowhere
call
with
it doing a
literal
Miyamoto
garbage.
and losing your mind. All right.
Oh man, ouch.
All right. Is there any other Nintendo? Oh, the only other news I saw was that Switch officially outsold the Wii U. That's the only thing I saw. Like worldwide, I think they finally got past the 10.35 million.
Yeah, they did.
10.35 million
It was
something.
it was 13 million for 13 point something million for Wii U, and then
Yeah. So
14
I
for
remember there
Switch.
was a 1 and a 3 in there.
Yeah.
Good
But,
job, Nintendo.
Yeah, within the first year. So let's see where it goes from here. You could basically just say the Wii U audience came over.
Yeah, and a
At this
few
point.
extras for people who were surprised. Like I know a few extras. I know people who never owned a Wii U and got a Switch. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's tons. But I mean,
We'll
numbers
count that as the other 4 million right there. Now let's just see if we can get those 3DS quote. I'm too broke to get a Switch. People, I hate when people say that. I'm like, bro, you spent the same amount you did to get a 3DS XL. Don't be lying.
Or your phone.
Yeah, right. Like
you have
like
your
yeah,
phone
I'm like
deals
you
how
just
much?
don't get it yet.
Yeah.
Like there's good enough reason now to get it. I mean, indie wise or game wise, there's more than enough reason to be picking up a Switch. So
Definitely.
I don't think anyone's debating that. That's a fact. That's one you can rest your head on right now, for sure. For
Yep.
sure. Nice. What
So-
other news? There's a lot of breaking news I heard. We're not talking about Pokemon leaked images. What's up with you guys? Come on.
because I was thinking of bringing that up, and then this other news came up, but also because I was like looking into some comments, and someone posted a video of a Japanese person translating the text on it, and the text was basically like not grammatically correct, and how they word things in Japanese. So I'm like, okay, so it's basically fake then. Also, the thing about Pokemon leaks is, even though we have seen Pokemon leaks before with the starters, it's usually, well, I'm gonna say it's always the final evolutions that are leaked, not like the actual starters themselves. Usually we'll have like a trailer of, the starters, and then, time will pass, and then we'll get some leaks going on. But like, we haven't even had a trailer for this game, or a logo. They basically just said, yeah, we opened up, the Word document file to start it. So to see a leak now is like, okay, we haven't even seen anything in this game. This seems way too early. So yeah, that kind of tipped me off, but mostly just the grammatical errors, like, that makes me believe it's fake. It would be cool though. I know. The problem.
One thing I wanted to ask
Yep.
before we got, I know Kirby Battle Royale came out and it's got some updates, but mega yawn to that because that's just mini game. But there's this game Wonder Boy did that come to the Switch too? That's an old game, right? That got remade.
Yeah, it's a remaster of Wonder Boy Part 3. I can't wait to play it because
Okay. It looks really cool. I'm surprised Matt or you haven't ever talked or played it yet.
It was an early game on the Switch too, so it's been on my wish list for a long time. It's a platformer, but what I'm really excited about is, I don't know if you guys have this in your life. This is a product possibly of my generation, a little bit more than yours. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm curious actually. Do you have games that you played when you were a little kid at maybe someone's house or in the arcade or anywhere that you never found out what it was and you've been wondering about it, that are kind of in the back of your head ever? Has that ever happened to you guys? Like, you can remember faintly playing it at a friend's house and you like, does that ever happen to you guys?
I think it used to, but I have a pretty good memory because I'm a weirdo.
Okay.
So it'll come to me randomly, and I would Google or
Try to
research
figure it out.
what was this game I played? And I would just put in stupid hints, be like, guy with pink hair who shot guns. Like, one game was Gungrave on the PlayStation 2.
Was that?
And I found out it was
you
an
were,
anime, and it was
no.
a big thing, and I was like, oh really? Wow. I don't know. I just played this game just to play it. It happened with me with Ratchet and Clank too until they remade it. I was like, I have no idea what this is.
Oh, no way. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I think
memories?
N64 games would be most likely to be like that.
Right. right, you saw them, and it was like so long ago that it took a while to find it out. Matt, you
Glover, Jet Force Gemini, and stuff like that. I was like, I swear I've played these games before, and I looked at them. I was like, I have no idea what these are.
Jet Force Gemini, dude. That game does not hold up the way you wish it did, but that game was awesome in its time. That game was so good. That was a rare game.
Yeah, see, that's why I haven't touched it since. I just I remember having a great time with it, kind of thing, and I'm just like, I might hate it if I play it.
It's not the game, it's the graphics. The graphics are so janky now, so blurry. And you're just like, wow, how did I play this for so many hours? Because that game had so much content in it. It was such a good game. But Matt, I didn't hear if you have faint memories or no. Did it never happen to you?
Not that I think of. I think it's basically because I would have forgot about the game itself.
Oh,
so it's like I can't even remember the thing. I forgot what it is because I don't remember. I would probably say if there's anything like that, it would be some sort of PS1 or PS2 game, simply because my cousin had one, and I would go over there and play stuff. But I think most of the stuff I played, I remember Crash Bandicoot or Ratchet and Clank, or a bunch of the demos on his demo discs.
Demos, even when you were a kid, you were playing demos.
Oh man,
hey, that's what it was all about back then, bro.
Demos
Go to Pizza Hut, get the Tony Hawk demo. Dude, there's one game so far to this day I still can't remember. It was on a PlayStation 1 or 2 demo thing, and it had to do with you cutting sushi, and it also had a demo of you doing water kayaking, extreme sporting on a river or some shit. I don't know, but I never found it out.
I remember the one where you give children alcohol or whatever, the bar one.
No, it's you were legit a hand of a sushi chef, and I said that weird, and it was so weird, you could even cut your own hand off by accident.
Yeah,
if you were trash.
I remember that, but I thought it was maybe they made but maybe that was part of the drinking, the bar thing. I don't know.
Oh, really?
I
you know what?
that.
I think you do give alcohol too. I can't remember.
Maybe
I
it's
just
the
remember a lot
same
of
game where they
screaming.
have two of them. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll have to look it up now. Those are
the things. That's
I don't
the
think
reason I brought
so.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think I knew what the actual game was called to begin with. So I guess I can't really say I forgot what it was because I didn't know what it was. It was just it's a demo. But I'm gonna have to look it up now.
See, the reason I ask is because I think Wonder Boy, the game Mike was asking about, might be one of those games for me that my whole life, I think I might have played it at my friend's house. My one friend was totally spoiled. They had every game system. They had game systems you guys haven't heard of, our faint memories from my childhood. They had handheld games, LCD games, Game & Watches. This family had every toy. It was awesome. I would be there every day after school playing toys with my buddy. And I think they had it's what is called Wonder Boy 3, the Dragon's Trap or Dragon's Curse or something like that.
I saw there was a dragon in it. I really like the hand-drawn animation of it. But.
Yeah. The art style, I know.
Yeah.
They did the 8-bit, plus you can play it in the new style, so you can flip back and forth, which sounds like a really awesome mechanic. You can hit a button and swap it to 8-bit graphics. I think I played this game when I was a little kid and loved it. I think I loved that game. It was so cool because you could change characters on the fly, and I thought that was such a cool mechanic. It was before that was kind of common, and I can't wait to play it to see if that is in fact one of those hazy memory games, that from my childhood that was wait, that game was good. And I remember, I think my friend let me borrow the whole system and take it home for a night to play it, and didn't tell his parents or something, and it would have been
awesome.
a Sega. Yeah, I can't remember. It's so faint. I mean, this is ages ago. This is when you guys were the sperm in your granddaddy's dad. You weren't even sperm in your dad yet. You guys were nothing.
Damn, bro. That hurts. You're going that deep.
I'm telling you, you were going that deep. I was alive and running around playing video games. I'm telling you. But no, I
Sorry.
Well, did you find it?
On.
Did you find a faded memory? Did you find it?
No, that's gonna take longer because it depends if it was on PS2 or PS1.
I can't remember.
I'll have to look up the list of discs, but we do have a winner for our whatchamacallit. I messaged a couple of people and I finally got a response back. Drum roll. Brrr, the winner is The Last of Us.
Ugh, that was kind of obvious, man. I had a feeling if you would even ask any other plain human, they were definitely gonna vote for that.
The trash of us beats Smash Brothers Wii U. Oh my
I
god.
know, man, dude. I honestly didn't want to vote at all. I mean, to
You
be
should have
honest.
voted for Smash, and now you ruined it for the rest of us. Way to go.
You know what? Link me the bracket right now. Link me the bracket.
Too late.
Oh
So
my God.
it could go. Oh man, another 2 games I haven't played. Actually, I don't think I've played.
Oh yeah.
No, okay. So after the next 2 brackets, I will have played at least one of these games. So that'll be good.
Where are you?
It's gonna be some interesting brackets. But
I'm looking at this bracket. Okay, so Last of Us. Okay, at least it's definitely losing next round.
Oh.
Oh my gosh,
Just remind
Mike.
If anyone is still listening to an hour and a half of this podcast, the brackets are at challenge. It's challenge with an O. You spell it like challenge, but challenge.com/justanotherpodcast. Again, it is www.challenge.com/justanotherpodcast. If you're still listening an hour and a half, just another castle. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, okay. Just another podcast. Yeah, just another castle. I mean, if you're still listening to us at this point and you want to know about our bracket and get in on this action and see what's happening here, you can look at the travesty that is Metroid getting beat by Final Fantasy. You can look at the travesty of Smash 4 getting beat by some game about zombies. Yawn. Just kidding. I never played it. I don't even know if it's.
That's what's just trash. Don't worry about it.
It's okay. I don't think it's gonna beat out Wind Waker or Final Fantasy 9 if it gets there.
Wind Waker is a strong bracket leader up there at the top. It sure is. It's a strong candidate, but there are a lot of
I'm calling Wind Waker going down round 3. I'm calling that.
Oh really?
And Super Mario Galaxy 2 is going to be too much for it.
Yeah, dude. Look at that. I don't even want to look at like number 6. Like I feel bad. I still haven't played Cave Story, so it's unfair. Even though I've always wanted to. But then I look at Galaxy 2 and I just laugh. I just go.
If you look play it now, like Cave Story is a legendary game. It is a legendary game.
I didn't know if I wanted it for the 3DS this time or if I just wanted to play it on console. It's like
we're derailing a beautifully laid podcast and all his best laid plans here. We're running off the rails here.
All right, I think we'll wrap it up now.
90 minutes.
Too long. Yeah. So you can find me at the Just Another Castle, at the Mango Viking on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Oh crap! I was gonna say in VidMe. I should have edited that part out of the script. And Source Gaming. I put out my review for Baseball Riot. You can check out either written or video format. It's only 3 minutes long, so check it out because I told you to. And Mike, where can people find you?
Hey guys, find me at Troy Fullbuster on Twitch or Gaming Night Live, and also find me Troy of B7 on Twitter. Yeah, I retweet like all of Matt's stuff, so you'll just see some more. I'll be like, oh, Matt put something out, gotta retweet that.
Awesome, thanks, man.
No problem, man. Good job on the first one. I watched I didn't read it. I only watched the video, so.
Oh, that's fine. I do that with a lot of things. It's so much easier to have.
Yeah, I was like, I should really read this, and I was like, I'm on the toilet. Might as well watch.
The script I wrote is the same as, or the article I wrote is, or the written review is the same as the video review.
Okay.
So yeah, trust me, I use my iPad.
Our listeners have to do both. So
yeah.
They have to.
Go on the written article and then click the video.
Perfect plan. Yeah. Perfect.
It's okay. I use my iPad like 90% of I use my iPad a lot, so everything in video format makes things so much easier.
But to delay you even more, would you like, when I first heard of the idea of an iPad or a tablet, I was like, this is the stupidest thing ever. But like, tablets are amazing.
They are.
Like, like Clay, like I know you don't have one, but like the Switch is like a tablet.
I'm talking to you on one.
Okay, Clay. Right now. All right, Clay. You have a cup with a string right now, and you're like, yeah, guys, same thing. Tablet,
It is a $30 Kindle, but I'm talking to you on the tablet, and I personally, I do not think they're amazing, but I think they're all right. But I love how
because you have a Kindle.
No, they hurt my fingers. Like with no tactile keyboard, I can barely use them. I'm like, it's pain on my.
I have mine with with a keyboard, so that's why I think I'm biased.
Anyhow, I know
Unoclay,
Matt's
where
gonna
can
say, "How about
people
you
find you?"
play?"
Yeah.
So I'll just fill in the blanks. I'm Unoclay. The best place to check me out right now is Unoclay_Switch on Twitter. You can send me a message. You can tweet at me. You can look at my occasional screenshots and witty, brilliant commentary on the life of video gaming in this modern age. So Unoclay_Switch. That's it.
Cool. So wherever you're listening, you can find us at Just Another Castle on every platform on the internet. Hit us up with your questions or interest if you're being a guest at Just Another Castle, or me directly at the Manga Viking. So until next time, leave luck to the heavens and leave gaming to Nintendo.
Just like guys, look out! Here comes the Spider-Man!